Hey, thanks for tuning in today. So I've got the Thermomix on at the moment. I've set it for 14 minutes to boil some eggs, and that's how much time I'm giving myself to record and release today's podcast. So the timer is on, and hopefully you won't hear the beep in the background because I've completed this and shared this info with you. So when I was thinking about what to share with you today, I've just jumped off my live stream with Alan Weiss. So we've done over 20 live streamed episodes. I will play the episode we recorded on tomorrow's Weekend Rewind. It was all about, just building a business, building a profitable business without having a virtual assistant or massive overhead. So how do you do that? It was a really great conversation. So I thought I'd share what goes on behind the scenes of doing a live stream and how I coordinate it. Now, this isn't the way to do it, but this is the way that I've done it. So I'll share basically the prep of the live stream, setting it up, and then how to run it when you're live. So basically, I guess some fundamentals of the setup is picking a title of what your show is, kind of like a podcast. So picking what's the theme around this? Obviously, Alan and I like talking about business topics, but also personal development and growth, and just living a great life. So talk the walk probably underpins that because it's really around not only creating what you want to create, but you also have to market it. And what I love about Alan's approach is he thinks that everything is marketing. I was in his forums earlier this week and he was talking about how his cars and his holidays are a form of marketing. Like everything he does, it's marketing. And that's what happens when you have, when you go under your own brand name. So our cadence is twice a month that we try for. Sometimes it gets busy, but every 2 or 3 weeks, you'll see an episode from us. In terms of topics, we started this by having a list of topics to explore, but we really just riffed on different things. Actually, today I said, hey, can our next Talk the Walk episode be all about how do you get paid to be yourself? So sometimes the virtual assistant stream that we did today, that was requested from a couple of people because I was just curious that Alan said in a previous episode that he does not suggest hiring people unless you get to 1 million. And on today's podcast and on the live stream that you listen to, actually said, no, he reckons unless you hit 5 million, you shouldn't get an assistant. I think that's a little bit controversial, but there we go. In terms of the setup, we've got just separate branding, built-in Canva. You can't go wrong. I use a tool called StreamYard. I'll link to their link in the show notes for this one. That's an affiliate link. StreamYard is really reliable. To stream into LinkedIn, you need like a third-party tool to do that. And so what we do is we jump on StreamYard through a link. So we both click on that link, we jump in, and everything has been set up in the background. So I've uploaded the background artwork, I've included the jingle, we've got the applause sound effects and things like that are going on. That's already set up. So once you've set it up, then it all goes back to just updating the prompts and the topic for the next time you jump in. So that's really easy. And we actually simulcast it to YouTube as well. So it's available on both of those platforms, but we only really promote LinkedIn because we want people there connecting with us on that platform. I'm not really interested in YouTube growth. It's handy to do lives to do that, but my focus really is on the platform that is LinkedIn. In terms of prompts, so I'm kind of like the host and the tech DJ for this, and Alan is basically my guest, even though I'll bring in things from time to time and we'll riff on certain things. I'm responsible for hosting it and I guess driving the conversation. So what I do is, honestly, like the day before, I'll be like, okay, what's our topic? And then I'll think about what are some questions that I have for Alan? And I'll put in those as prompts within StreamYard. So what that looks like, if you watch us on LinkedIn or YouTube, you'll see that when we switch topics or questions, there's usually a supporting text prompt or banner that goes underneath that, and that really guides the direction. It also makes it easy if someone's watching a replay, they can just flip to different parts to see what we're actually talking about. So I like that. It keeps Alan on track too if I've got the prompt right in front of him. Not that he needs help keeping things on track, but it's just nice. And what I like about that is there's also fallback. So if I don't know where to go with something or we've exhausted a topic, I can then click to the next topic or pick one from something that's been pre-submitted. So that's the good prep work. I guess in the moment, what I like to do is to bring in live comments. It's probably more fun to bring in, find out what people are dialing in from. We riff on that. They will either comment on what we've shared or they've asked questions. And that's really great. The whole point of live streaming it is so people can participate. Otherwise, I just jump on a Zoom call with Alan and talk to him. But we actually delight in having people from joining us all over the world that have different questions or riff on different things or find interesting things. And definitely we'll use some of those questions then direct future topics as well. it was very early on a challenge to context switch and to do like the tech DJing, and also, I'm basically facilitating a conversation, and not with anyone. Like Alan, if you don't know, like you'll hear it. He is just super switched on. He throws stuff back at me faster than I dish it out. So it's not like I give him something and then I can just relax and watch the comments. I have to be monitoring everything while it's going on. And I absolutely love this because this is the best training experience I can have as a facilitator for leading conversations, riffing with people, adding things on, bringing in other commentary. So I think live streaming, like I used to talk about podcasting being the best way to get better at facilitating because you're hosting a conversation. But honestly, I think live streaming it takes it up next level. One thing I'm thinking of doing like in future, I'll put out like a little invitation letter out maybe in the next week or so, is giving people a chance to live stream with me. So I'll host it. They're the guest, but we're going to be doing that. We'll live stream it. I think it'd be kind of fun just to help them build up their ability to handle things in the moment. When you're in public, you can't hide, you're on notice. It's a very different experience when you're live and having to handle something as opposed to pre-recording it and knowing you might eventually, you can delete it or, scrap over that part. So especially if you have to do things live in front of people and groups of people, I think live streaming is a really great way to practice that. I've definitely noticed that I'm getting better. Although, at times I'll, of course, still stumble and Alan will throw things that I haven't anticipated. And so that keeps me sharper, or I learn from it as a result. So yeah, that's it. Just a bit of prep in terms of what are the prompts, but also be aware and sentient of the conversations happening in the moment. And that's how it's done. I hope you enjoyed that and enjoy listening to the live conversation I had with Alan on tomorrow's podcast. I'll speak to you then.